So what I've got here is the large Crown Royal bag. It is a big bag, way bigger than my hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make reel bags. I have made these in the past, and my bass reels were a super tight squeeze to get in there. I have some 3,000 and 3,500 size reels for catfish that I want bags for because they're expensive reels. I travel a lot of dirt roads, a lot of gravel roads, and these longer rods do not fit in the cab of my truck, and I want to take care of my reels. So this is fairly cheap, inexpensive. Not the liquor itself, but the bag is. My son was in the city yesterday, and he was in a thrift store, and there was an entire shopping cart of these, full to the top of the shopping cart, 50 cents a piece. So I had him pick me up 20 of them, and I will walk you through the steps on how I make these bags. So the first thing I do is I grab the actual rod and reel that I'm going to make the bag for. Some of these rod seats flare out at the end, and some don't, and they're not all the same size between each rod. Depends on the manufacturer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this bag on, and what I want is I want a pair of eyelets up. You'll understand what I'm talking about here in a second. So we're going to slide that on like that. This pair of eyelets is up. Okay, it's on top of the rod. Now I'm going to pull it just so it's snug, and you can start to see the outline of the butt of the rod. Then I'm going to take a marker, and I'm just going to go around the edge of that. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me my diameter for the butt of the rod. I'm going to finish marking that out, and I'm going to cut that hole out. So here you can see I've got my hole marked. Okay, my hole is cut out. I'm going to slide it over the end of the rod. One thing you do have to do though is you have to run your spool so that your line is as close to the rod as possible. You don't want your line coming out over here and then going that way, because you can't close the bag. Get your line close as you can. Okay, so this reel is fully inside this bag now. I could just cinch this up and tie it or whatever, but that's not good enough. So now that we know that it fits, take it back off. So now what I'm going to do is this string goes all around in here, and there's a knot inside of this where they tie all this together, and it's right here. So I'm going to work this knot all the way around to one of these eyelets, and once I get it there, that is where I'm going to cut that string off at the eyelet so that I still have the eyelet. There's the knot inside there. So now I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut that off at the eyelet. And I don't care if the knot stays in there. It's not going to affect anything. And then I'm going to pull it back this way. And then I'm going to pull it to the other side of the knot. This way I can keep my eyelets. I don't have to cut a hole in the bag. So that knot will stay in there forever, because I'm not taking the bag apart. So now what I got to do is I got a piece of small paracord. You're going to need a piece of thin wire. Here's my paracord. It's pretty small stuff, not very big. So I've got my wire with a bend in it like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that paracord and I'm going to put it right in that bend. And then I'm going to squeeze it down with some pliers. And you don't have to, don't leave a whole bunch of excess hanging out. You just want to squeeze that wire. And then you're going to find your top side again, which would be this pair of eyelets. You're going to go in one, you're going to thread that wire completely through here and back out the other hole. And then you're slowly going to work this all around the wire and get it off the wire, and your cord will come out. Okay, so I got that loop clear through there. I mount both of my eyelets. And now I just got to keep working this around. And I have to go the right direction though. That would help. And it takes some time, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But once you get to your cord, be very careful pulling it through. You'll get it. It just takes a little bit of finesse, but it works. Okay, I got the cord completely through. I can do it faster off camera. For some reason you guys make me nervous. But I want this bag to open up as far as it will without stretching or ruining the bag. And then what I want to do is I want to have like 3 or 4 inches of extra paracord sticking out. Cut that off. Now I'm going to take a lighter and I'm just going to melt the ends of this and make them kind of pointed. The reason I want them pointed is so I can get it through these little holes. I can hang on to the thing. Those little holes. So those go through there. And when I adjust this, what I'm looking for is the bag at maximum open without ripping it. And I want to slide this up to the edge of the bag. Like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot in each one of these at the end of this, so that that is all the further that bag will even try to open, so that it doesn't rip it. Okay, the knots are in the rope. Slide that to the end. Open this thing all the way up. And we're at, what do they call these things? These are depth adjusters. They're for waterfowling. They're for the weights on the decoys. This was a 12 pack. These things work pretty good. So now, the next step is you can leave this like that, but it's gonna wanna rip. So what I did is I took some shoe glue and put it around the edge of this hole, and what it does is it hardens this up right here. This is what I use. You guys that have been watching me, I love this stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff with this stuff. shoe goo, pretty good stuff. Anyway, so the edges of the hole is firmed up, it's dry. You can trim this to make it all nice and pretty or whatever you want to do. It really doesn't matter. Your fishing rod will not care. So now we're just going to slide this on. This goes in there. That comes up there. That goes up there. I leave these tag ends so that I have something to hang on to. Okay. You just gotta pull it up tight. And now your reel is fully encased. It's not waterproof, but it's like very dust proof. You keep the dust out of there from the gravel roads. There you got it. Yeah, that's just a cheap alternative to help protect your reel. That's all it's for. But it works pretty good. Thanks for watching, and hopefully next video has fish in it.